Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. It's March 24th. It's good having you with us. All across the Bahamas, Bahamians are experiencing a 24-hour lockdown. As in an unprecedented move, the Prime Minister, in his national address last night, expressed an urgency to contain the spread of COVID-19 by enforcing a mandatory curfew that began this morning at 9 a.m. and ends at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, March 31st.
A curfew is imposed every day for 24 hours, except as provided in the orders or may be approved by the Commissioner of Police. In an effort to prevent the spread of COVID-19, every person should remain confined to their place of residence, inclusive of their yard space, to avoid contact outside of their family.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says exceptions include essential workers, workers required to work as provided by the order, and for essential travel to a doctor, grocery store, bank, pharmacy, or to refuel. As for other activities, only outdoor exercise not exceeding an hour and a half per day between the hours of 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., while distancing at least 6 feet from another person. Dr. Minnis added more must be done to save lives, and in a race against time, all airports and seaports will be closed to international flights and boatings.
Every human establishment must ensure that all customers and staff maintain physical distancing of no less than 6 feet in or outside their businesses. They must determine the number of persons that may be permitted in the establishment at any one time by permitting one person for every 30 square feet of store space. Within 24 hours of the commencement of this order, place distance markers 6 feet apart, indicating where each customer must stand at a checkout point. And within 24 hours of the commencement of this order, place distance markers 6 feet apart on the outside of the establishment, indicating where customers must stand while waiting to enter the establishment.
Additionally, Arawak Key, Porterski Dock, and all beaches will be closed to the public. Dr. Minnis said businesses must enact distancing markers to ensure social distancing while permitting one person into the store for every 30 square feet of store space. Grocery stores must also enforce special shopping times for senior citizens between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m.
For the purpose of preventing, controlling, and suppressing the spread of COVID-19 with immediate effect, except without prior written permission of the competent authority, all airports, including private airports and fixed base operations, shall be closed to incoming international flights carrying any visitor. All seaports shall be closed to regional noted in this order.
Dr. Minnis said the Royal Bahamas Police Force has powers to stop any vehicle, to inquire and arrest anyone violating orders. For more information on this emergency order, you can visit the Office of the Prime Minister's webpage at opmbahamas.com. Well, the lockdown may be extended according to Attorney General Carl Bethel, who says with the advice of medical personnel, it advised that lockdown may be extended another 30 days, which will be debated in the House of Assembly next Monday. That's what he told reporters before the weekly cabinet meeting today. As the country is in a fight against COVID-19, which has impacted the world rapidly, Mr. Bethel acknowledged that the government has been in discussion with the opposition on the way forward.
Let Bahamians know, first of all, that we are in close consultation with the opposition, and they agree that we should follow the medical advice of the medical professionals. And at the meeting we held with them a few days ago, the strong advice of the medical practitioners who are leading this fight was that we must extend the curfew for at least another 30 days.
Like many countries around the world that have closed their borders to do everything possible to try and stop the spread of the virus, the Attorney General wants Bahamians to understand they will take the advice of health officials and says the government is not thrilled about extending the possibility of a lockdown. However, he wants Bahamians to understand the seriousness of the war against COVID-19.
This is not something that we want to do. This is something that we are advised we must do. And I can only emphasize to the general Bahamian public, all residents in this country, the critical urgency of fully obeying all of the requirements of the nationwide curfew. It is critically important. We cannot have a policeman outside every house. People must self-protect. The strongest human instinct is the survival instinct. Let us fall back to our gut instincts in this matter.
To date, there are 414,277 confirmed cases, 18,557 deaths, with 107,806 total recovered. The AG says he wants Bahamians and residents to do everything to protect themselves, their families, and protect the country. The Progressive Liberal Party is all in support of the curfew as ordered by the Prime Minister. Opposition leader Philip Davis says the Emergency Powers COVID-19 Orders 2020 No. 2 contain measures that are absolutely necessary to mitigate against the further spread of coronavirus, as these measures are in line with the World Health Organization guidelines. Following the Prime Minister's initial curfew orders last week, the opposition called those measures an overreach and questioned some of the stipulations that at the time seemed contradictory, Mr. Davis said. Now, with these new orders that impose a 24-hour curfew, except on essential services and with some specific guidelines, Mr. Davis says, having met with the Prime Minister yesterday to discuss the implementation of the new orders, says it was widely agreed. Mr. Davis is reiterating to all Bahamians and residents of the Bahamas to exercise self-discipline and comply with these latest measures designed to safeguard and protect the lives, health, and general well-being of all. Mr. Davis says the Progressive Liberal Party will continue to monitor these developments and the impact these measures will have on the country and assist in the national effort to combat this public crisis. He again encourages all to take full responsibility for their health and the health of their family by doing their part to achieve the best possible outcome for the country. It will not be a gentle recession, but a sharp one. That's the words of Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest, who told reporters outside of Cabinet this morning as much. As COVID-19 isn't just snatching lives, it's also snatching economies across the world. With the Bahamas and other countries closing its borders, what drives the Bahamas' economy, tourism, is taking a major blow. The country's economy has also taken its fair share of blows over the last few years, largely due to Mother Nature. Mr. Turnquest addressed the harsh reality today, but he says he does believe that the country has enough headroom until the end of this fiscal year.
These are going to be very difficult times for us. Our worst case scenario up to this point showed us somewhere around $1 billion in loss into the economy. With the shutdown now, we certainly have to go back and reevaluate. I expect that would probably go higher, unfortunately. So I think this is going to be a long-term problem for us, certainly well into the new year. But we will address whatever the challenges are in the new budget that will be passed in June. We believe that up to this point, we believe that we have sufficient headroom to run us through the end of this fiscal year.
With it being 6 months post-Hurricane Dorian, which devastated the northern islands, Abaco, its Keys, and parts of Grand Bahama left behind billions of dollars in damages. Mr. Turnquest says his ministry is stressed as the COVID-19 didn't dismiss what Dorian left behind.
The challenges that Dorian brought did not go away as a result of this hurricane, nor did the threat for a new hurricane during this next season that is just a couple of months away. So we have a serious challenge ahead of us, trying to mop up whatever restoration efforts that need to be done.
The Deputy Prime Minister says as tourism drives the economy, it will be a very slow process for the country to rebound economically. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.